Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spirit Chat. I am one of your co-hosts, Medium Mari. I am a psychic medium and animal communicator. I also help to find lost pets with the help of spirit. And as usual, I am working with my beautiful co-host, Winter Brook, psychic medium, and we have a special guest today with us today. It is Dawn Marie Delahunt, aka Angel Eyes, and we are so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and we will give you an introduction momentarily. But Winter, why don't you say hi to everybody? I can see you're frantically letting everybody into the Zoom room.
Yeah, and thank you
Yep.
for having me.
Okay. I'm just going to mute everybody. There we go. Hi, everyone. I'm Winterbrook, and I'm with Mari once a month, joining you guys. Thanks for coming in or watching afterwards. I'm also a psychic medium, animal communicator. I do public demonstrations. I teach online classes, and I'm also a Reiki master teacher, and I attune individuals and do Reiki healing. And I just love coming on monthly to talk about metaphysical topics, lift the vibration, hopefully have you leave our show feeling uplifted. And thank you so much for coming on.
Awesome. I know, very excited because we just did our show 2 weeks ago and we're back again. So I'm super pumped that we're back together again. And like I said earlier, we have a very special guest today. I'll give you just a brief bio on her so you can get to know her a little bit. Um, Dawn Marie Delahunt, aka Angel Eyes Dawn Marie, is an angelic oracle, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and intuitive development coach. She recently became an international best-selling author of Intuitive Speaking Her Truth, The Art of Grace Publishing. Dawn's signature gift is that she has the unique ability to inspire and awaken the innate intuitive gifts of others. Dawn also does this through her readings, certification courses, workshops, and intuitive development classes. Dawn's true gift is that she inspires you to be you and that whoever you were meant to be. She is here to help you to see your inner truth. She's truly passionate to let everyone know that we are all special and we are all gifted. And without further ado, here is Angel Eyes Dawn Marie. Welcome to the show.
Okay, so I can't believe I'm getting emotional when you read that.
Oh,
Wow,
oh.
I started getting the chills about my true passion about awakening people to their gifts and then seeing your inner truth because so many people are not living their full potential. They're not living their truth. They're hiding behind what it is the world thinks they need to be. And I can't even believe I literally got teary eyed hearing you. I guess I haven't heard
Oh.
someone read my bio. And it makes it all worth it, right?
Oh, of course, of course. We're so grateful to have you here with us and to share your gift with our audience. Again, thank you so much for coming on. So maybe we can rewind a little bit, Dawn, and sort of, can you tell us sort of how you got where you are, how your gift happened, the type of work you do? I know our audience would love to know more about you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And once again, thank you both for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here right now. Well, it all started in 9/11, when the tragic events of 9/11, and I think there's many of us that woke up during that time. I felt the pain of the world. I was just drawn to try to help somehow. I wanted to go down and feed the firemen. My friend was doing that, and my sister's like, "Don't go." And it's like, now I know why I wasn't supposed to go. There were so many people that got sick that were helped out. Whatever it is, I was helping people online, go to blood banks to try to help, although we didn't really need it at that time. But right when that happened, I started having spiritual experiences. I also lost a fireman friend, and that was the true
Mm,
losing firefighter Michael J. Cawley. Um, and during that time, with like I just saw him on like Sunday before Tuesday happened, so you know, and then there was a few funerals I went to. Unfortunately, my cousin's wife lost her brother, and a friend of mine lost a father. So those were the three. So I really got impacted with that. But over my life, I would say I've always been a little sensitive, although I was always pushed aside. Like, you're not seeing the lady in the closet. Meanwhile, me, my cousin, and my sister all talked about it as adults, that we all saw the lady in the closet and figured it was my grandmother, my great
Mm,
grandmother. But, so I believe we all have been born with these gifts. And I guess my own self development of it and my own lacking of trust over the years, and really every reading I started doing, and I really dove into angel cards. Um, and every reading I was doing is I was teaching people to do automatic writing, that they could do this themselves, that they could connect to their loved ones themselves. And that's what kind of inspired me. So every reading I was giving them a little bit of, nuggets of information, of course, but then spirits teaching me, telling me that they could do it themselves. A lot of times in my readings, I was getting specific places where they were feeling like they were talking to their loved one, but think they're making it up. And they're like, how would you know that? So that's what really kind of made me go into becoming a teacher. And I didn't realize this, but my meditations were getting people to another level because it was just purely channeled. And
mm,
people are like, we love your meditations. I never could meditate.
mm.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just showing up, but spirit speaking through me. I take no claim. Because that's what it is. I'm a spirit-based teacher. There's times I have curriculum that we do, and we go off, because someone needs something else. So, but it's always a blessing to everybody. I believe in sharing, so we all can see what's happening. Some people just sit in class and don't say anything and realize someone else says it. They're like, that's happening to me. And it's just a beautiful thing. And I've always wanted to build community. And so many people, you know, don't have many friends that talk about this, and they join my classes, or we do holiday parties. We have one coming up. You should come. But we do the holiday parties every year, and we just try to realize that you're not alone in this spirit world. I mean, thankfully, when I started back in 2001, when it all happened, there weren't many people talking about this stuff. I went to Pat Longo. She was my first teacher. And then I've never been a big reader myself. I've always been audiobooks, or I would like to see the people speak. So I learned from many different world renowned teachers, from Hay House, James Van Prague, and Louise Hay, I saw, and Wayne Dyer, a lot of the greats that are no longer with us. I got to meet Greg Braden. He was talking about the big shift in 2012. So it's been a long journey. I always wanted to write a book. I'm happy I was able to. And I have another book inside me that's coming soon. But we got to make the time to write.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's kind of hard, especially since you also are a mother of a 2-year-old.
yes.
And yeah, that I remember when my abilities were open and I had the 2 kids. How about you, Mari? When your abilities were opening or coming to the forefront, did you have the kids or was it before then?
Yeah, well, I've always sort of had this, like, my earliest memory when I was like 4 years old. I remember seeing angels and spirits and talking then to them. And to me, that was totally normal because I'm like, oh, sure, this must happen to everybody. And then at some point, I realized that it doesn't happen to everybody. And I sort of kept quiet about it. So I didn't really work with my gifts directly until my kids were older. I'm a licensed therapist, and so I was working as a therapist, and I believe I was using my intuitive gifts while I was doing that as well, for sure. But when the kids were little, there's always things that would happen, and I don't know about you, Winter and Dawn, but it's like my kids are really psychic too. So like I would be thinking something, and they would start talking about it, or vice versa. So it's kind of always been around, but I didn't really start getting into it as a career per se until they got a little bit older.
Yeah, because it's tough. I give you
Yeah.
a lot of credit on having the little one, and I know, you also have a day job, as we call it. And
Yes,
I know you and I are co-ambassadors for the Eyes of Learning, which
yes,
is the oldest not-for-profit metaphysical learning community on Long Island.
yes.
Those of you on Long Island, you should Google it. I think sometimes they're Zooming their monthly
Yeah.
program. So if you're
Friday nights. Yeah.
yeah, they were Zooming, and then I know they didn't Zoom Daniels, but for those of you out of the area, check them out because again, they're not for profit, and we both are ambassadors. That's how we met. It's a great community. Dawn has a wonderful community. We actually share a lot of the same students and
Yeah.
match friends. I can't make it to the annual
Party.
party this year. She puts on a great party.
And
I'm
everyone's
actually
welcome.
I'm going off to Egypt. I'm going to get some good Egyptian
Ooh,
juju to bring back.
that's
Cool.
awesome.
Um, so anyway, I give you a lot of accolades because whether you're doing this work or any other work, if you got young kids at home, it's a tough balance. So I see some lovely friends in the Zoom room. Hi everyone, Denise, Terry, Sharon, Deborah. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm seeing people online, so thank you for watching on Facebook or YouTube. Um, so this is the type of time of year I think that uh, can be extremely difficult for those who are in mourning, grieving. And this is the time of year that our loved ones, whether they are fur babies on the other side or humans,
Mhm.
um, want to reach out and assure us that they're still with us. So I thought it might be kind of cool or neat um, if we talked about a couple of different signs that or the way sometimes they bring through messages so that although we all encourage everyone to take a deep dive into their own abilities, because hey, mine shut down and I was completely unaware until they reopened. Um, so, but if you're not at that point, you still may want to have messages from loved ones, especially around holidays. And Dawn, what would be a good example of how your loved ones might reach you if you're not using your psychic or mediumship abilities yet?
Well, I believe that a lot of us have been getting signs by, birds coming around, pennies from heaven, dimes, quarters. Um, we see sometimes animals in nature, squirrels or deer even, that just kind of stare at you because I feel like spirit kind of grabs them and just lets them stop until you get the message. And a lot of times, all of a sudden, and I got the chills telling you this, all of a sudden, spirit, a family member comes to your mind, and that family member is who is getting your attention. And then you have thoughts. And I always would say the biggest secret to mediumship and channeling is that it could come in your own thoughts. Like, it doesn't have to be outside of yourself. It could be little whispers in your own thoughts. And a lot of times you are talking to, like, well, I know what they'll say. Well, it's because they're talking to you. And like, pay attention to your thoughts and embrace and engage yourself. You could surround yourself with a bubble of light. You could say a prayer so you know you're safe and protected. But I really believe that someone goes, well, how do I know that that's the person? I want to hear from them. So what I go, do you have other people that you would like to hear from? Do you have other people that you passed on? And they're like, oh, yes, I have many. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, someone else actually just passed. I go, well, why is that particular one coming to your mind? They're like, oh, I never thought of it that way. And all of a
Mhm.
sudden, they're starting to believe, they're starting to trust, you know, um, and just a lot of times, it's the signs that they think of. And another very one thing that has really proven a lot, you could ask them for a shared memory. So when you have them, you have the sign, say, to give me a shared memory. You're going to get a shared memory from 30 years ago or 20 years ago, however old you are,
Mhm.
10 years, that you haven't thought of. And there's no way you could have logically put that in your head. And they're doing that to you just for you to realize that they're with you. Because I believe we all have the ability to connect with our loved ones, our guides, our angels. And as you do that practice, you're going to get a unique relationship with spirit, with your loved one, and it's very healing. Like I think it was John Edwards that said, set a place for dinner for your loved one and they'll show up, and try to engage in, their life. Like instead of their death, celebrate their life. I one time got a message from um, my loved one who passed away in October. I was giving a reading to my friend who we lost a mutual friend, and he was young. He was in his 50s. And when I was channeling him, my my aunt came through, and that happens sometimes. My aunt came through who passed away in the same month a year before, and they both were at my wedding. And he died when I was on my honeymoon. And he said, we're both October babies. We want us, it was our birthday in heaven because we came back home. And it was a beautiful message because they want us to celebrate their life because they went back home. They said our birthday in heaven. And it gave my friend who lost her dear friend so much peace.
That's what we're aiming for, and that's what spirit wishes. I just wanted to quickly mention before we brought you into the Zoom room, I was talking with Mari, and actually Spirit sent me a sign today for everybody, a
Huh?
woodpecker. And what was the first thing that you started to mention that Spirit might or loved ones might send birds? And I looked out right before the show and I saw this woodpecker. Now I know they can be common on Long Island, but I just knew from where the woodpecker was. It's usually a squirrel that usually sits there. And then Spirit, validated for me, said it's a sign.
Well,
So
it's
woodpecker.
another sign because that used to be my favorite cartoon character, Woody Woodpecker.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, this was
And
an
I
actual
just noticed
woodpecker.
a woodpecker. So you were tapping into having me on your show.
There you go. So just for the audience members out there, woodpeckers are also seen as messengers from the spirit world, carrying wisdom, vitality, and a reminder of one's connection to nature.
Mhm.
They represent perseverance, determination, and the ability to overcome obstacles through consistent effort. So I think that also goes to somebody who's watching, who may be having challenges. Don't look for making one grand leap. Look at it as if you're climbing up a ladder. Each small step leads to the next. All right. And it's going to work out into January, February. So I'm just going to leave that out there to one of our listeners. And we do have quite a few watching us, which of course is during the day in the States. So people are still at work. But Mari, what do you think? What's a good way that what's a way that people can recognize a message or a greeting from spirit if they're not open yet with their abilities?
Well, it's interesting, and I think it's a fantastic topic that you brought up, Winter. And just it's funny you were talking about the woodpecker, and just as I was on my way to my office to do this session here, I saw two baby deer in my yard. And I see them around sometimes, but they were literally like right next to my window. Like if I opened my window, I could have touched them. So they were very close. And I know they are also spiritual messengers about trust, about opening up to spirit and being connected. And so I think it's beautiful that all of us are getting these messages. But for people that maybe aren't sure or a little like, oh, I don't know if that's a sign. I think the main thing that people need to do is trust because, there's so many different stories. And I don't know if I've told this one on air before, but I was once sitting with a client and she was telling me, well, I don't know if I get any signs. And I'm like, okay, well, give me an example of something you're not sure of. And they happened to be going to, a funeral at the time, her and her family, and they had the GPS on. And the GPS said, take a left at Linda Road. And then the next direction was take a right at Smith Road. And she said to me, well, do you think that's a sign? And I'm like, well, aren't we talking about your aunt and her name is Linda Smith? She's like, yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just thought it was a coincidence. And I'm like, come on. Your GPS is literally saying the name of your loved one. So no, that's not a coincidence. So I guess what I, ask my clients and anyone that I connect with on this topic is just to be open. If you're at the, say, if you find a feather and you're at the beach and there's a million seagulls, no, probably not a sign. We have to be realistic. There's stuff happening everywhere, but like Winter was saying, she was seeing a woodpecker and it was sitting in a spot it usually isn't, and maybe it lingered a little longer, or just something weird that happens. Like there's no storm, everything's fine, and then, the lights go out in your dining room and you have everything checked, and the electrician is like, nope, everything's fine. And then they go back on. So those are signs from our loved ones. Our loved ones are always trying to get our attention. It's just many times we as people, because we are humans, we sort of like, oh, I don't know, and we make excuses and reasons why it can't be our loved one connecting. So, what I would say to all our listeners and viewers out there is just trust. If something that's happening and you get sort of that feeling in your body, or the hairs stick up on the back of your neck, or you get a warm feeling, that's spirit trying to get through to you, to talk to you and to connect with you, because they are always around us, including our fur babies, and they want us to know that they want to be a part of our life even from the other side.
Yeah, and I also tell my clients, I'm like, look, if you think your loved one is around, then trust it, even if you're wrong. I make mistakes. I always start every reading out like, listen, I'm human. I can make
Of
mistakes.
course.
So if I make one, just let it go. We'll keep, because could be I'm not making a mistake. You're just not remembering in the moment. So we won't dwell. We'll just move on. You can
Yeah.
listen to the recording after. I said, well, give yourself a save grace. If as long as you don't think that they're telling you to sell your stock portfolio or sell your house, if you just think it's a greeting from mom because a cardinal appears and like taps on the window, but then your logical mind is like, oh no, it's just no, no, accept it for what it is. It makes you feel good. And as you continue to receive these little tokens of affection from the other side, greetings, you'll start to feel more comfortable, giving it recognition and trusting. But don't, even if you're wrong, it's not like you're doing a reading as a paid medium. If you're starting out and you think you got your mother because a memory comes in, like Dawn suggested, then trust that. All right.
Hmm.
Who's it hurting? If it you'll find out when you cross to the other side in 30 years. Oh, remember that one time? I really wasn't sending you a memory. That was your imagination. I guarantee you that's not going to happen. So, just especially when you're starting out, especially during times when you're feeling down and you're really needing connection, because sometimes when we feel down and depressed and sad, that can also put a little static on the line, as I like to say. So, they're going to try as hard as they can to get through to kind of bring you some upliftment and love. So don't doubt. Just say, okay, I get it. I see it. And they'll give you more. That's the nice thing about spirit. They're not chintzy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the more you trust, then the more open that line is. So just sort of allow it to happen. And I'm sure, Dawn, you've had similar experiences as well with your clients and even yourself.
It's funny. This is just coming to me now. Like, there are people that are not trusting out there, and there are people that are just beginning their journey and all that. But then there are people like, I got a sign, it's my father, and everything's going to be okay. And like, they know, and they get this knowing that, oh my God, now I know they're here, and everything's going to be okay. And then that's when I say, and that's a great feeling, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Of
But then
course.
I'm like, okay, let's take it deeper now for those people. Now, what are they, why are they coming to you in this moment? You know it's going to be okay. But as you know, they're learning to communicate with us just like we're learning to communicate with them. If they're coming through, usually there's a bigger reason. And there's so many times that I'm like, oh, Mike's here. And I'm like, good to do. I'm driving to class. And I'm like, Oh my God, even I forget to ask what's my message. And when we see the numbers on the clock, 111, 222, it's like, we get that good feeling everything's gonna be okay. But let's ask, who is it? And whoever comes to your head, that's who it is. What's my message? And you almost have a voice come to you if you quiet your mind. I always say you could take 4 deep breaths, and all of a sudden you have a thought that's talking to you. So that's how you know you're not making it up. So, and they're speaking. So I teach my students that, and they've been really working with it, and they're like, wow, I'm getting a deeper message. So they joke around with me. I always tell them to go deeper, because that's what we need to do. Just like, we do on our readings, going a little deeper,
Yeah, exactly.
Advice.
right?
Well, speaking of
100%.
messages, Terry is with us today, and she'd love a message. Dawn, would you like to? I know you said you like to do messages with the cards.
Yeah, sure.
Terry, could you put your mic on, sweetheart? I think you know Dawn, right? From Eyes of Learning.
Okay.
Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Just
Oh,
as
you're just meeting Terry. Okay.
have I met you before at the
No.
Isolate? Okay. Well, what's interesting is I was drawn as we're talking sometimes to a couple of cards. And just as a general message, I just wanted to give a quick message to the group, was the miracle of prayer. Like, ask. They always say that, when we ask for things that's in prayer, that's it's we have to ask our angels to help us, ask God and the angels to help us. And so it's the miracle of prayer, and meditation will be God whispering to us and giving us the guidance back. But also, another card I got was about, which is interesting because I got the chills about it, speaking your truth. And I have a little tool, was thank you, God and the angels, for giving me the right words for them to hear, listen, and understand. And that tool can help people. And I've used it so many times, and all of a sudden the right words come out, because sometimes it's hard to speak your truth. So
Right.
that just came as a collective message. And then as we do that, we stand in God's grace. So it's about asking for help, speaking our truth with loving words, and being in the state of grace. So I just wanted to give that because it came to me earlier, whether it's for someone here specifically or for the collective. Okay. All right. So, Terry,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That was beautiful. I think that's very helpful because if we didn't mention earlier, so not to interrupt you, Don,
No,
but
that's
this does
good.
stream. This streams out on iHeart, Spotify, and iTunes on podcast. So in a week or so, I'll upload it and it will be streamed out. So there will be lots of future listeners. So if you are getting this message from Dawn right now and it resonates, whether it's next week or next month, that message is for you. So trust that message.
Someone needs to speak their truth, and it's hard.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so Terry, I'm just going to say a little prayer. Oh God, as we open the door to communication in the unity of the Holy Spirit, the great I am presence of the universe, we give thanks, for we know the word spoken and healing received is filled with your love, truth, wisdom, understanding of the highest. Amen. Now I'd like you to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. And I actually feel a very cathedral, like a very strong presence of Blessed Mother and Jesus, that there's a lot of faith and prayer. And
Hmm.
the card that I pulled for you, oh, they were stuck together, was count your blessings. So it's about tuning into the things that we're grateful for. Because a lot of times when we think of the things um, that we want and we don't have yet, it puts us in that lack mentality. So
Hmm.
sometimes we have to take back and just really count our blessings and be grateful. And then Archangel Samuel is here on this card, and it's saying open your heart. And I also feel like it's about self love and about doing what you need to do for you, because you're a giver and you're always doing for people. And some people, especially around this time of the year, people want to do for you. So allow them to do for you like you do for them, because you know how good and fulfilling it is for yourself to give. So take it as like, wow, I know how much I love it. Let me allow them to give to me so they could feel as good as I do when I give. So think
That,
of it that way.
that's hard for me.
That's hard for you. That's why it's coming through strong. You could pray to Archangel Samuel to allow
Okay.
it because it's your time because there's so many people around you that want to do. And you know what? You need a break. You don't have to do it all. And it's okay. And it makes them feel good. Okay. And don't you want them to feel good?
Yes.
There you go. So the next person that offers something to you, you're going to say,
Of course, yes.
yes. Yay. I'll leave that with you with light and love, Carrie.
Thank you.
Nice. That kind of sounds like a bang you on the head from the last message I gave you at the library.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Gotta
See,
love synchronicities.
that and spirit will always give you the message again, so never worry. So,
Very true. Very
Yes.
true.
Yes. And that message, by the way, for the Woody Woodpecker was right on target for me, by the way. I didn't want to say it
awesome.
back then. Yeah. Something I'm waiting for. I have to wait till January and I'm not happy about it. So I like the message. Thank you.
All right, I'll send you some calming energy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm finally, it's God's timing, right? We got to trust in the divine timing.
Yeah, I hear you though.
Even though we don't like it, we
Yeah.
got to trust.
So, we also have Deborah in the Zoom room today, and she indicated she'd like a message.
Okay, you want me to do another card for Deborah?
Let me
Or
see,
you want to do
Mari,
it, Mari?
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know if Deborah has a preference. Would you like to have our guest, Dawn, pull some cards for you today, or did you have a specific
Sure,
question or?
Oh, it's
sure.
Deborah.
Hi,
Hi. Good.
how are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Good.
I definitely saw Deborah at Eyes of Learning.
Yes, yes.
I was gonna say she looks very familiar.
Yeah,
So.
Eyes of Learning. And
Well,
then
I
you
saw
became
you a
my
few
lead into the
times.
light, which I got to get
Victor,
you ladies on.
and I saw Dawn at a couple of things too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for supporting our efforts.
Oh, I love it. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say my prayer again. Oh God, as we open the door to communication and the unity of the Holy Spirit. No. Okay. And Deborah, I'm going to ask you to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. The card I pulled was wisdom is important to you right now. Stay in your integrity and be honest with open communication. Speak your truth. Maybe that message was for you. I feel like it's important for you. It's also saying ambitious, respectful, rational, and it's Archangel Michael. That is the card for. And in this card, it's funny because it's making me look like follow the yellow brick road. Like it's time for you to believe in the magic. Okay, to trust in the magic, to trust because you've been trying to manifest, you've been trying to get the things you want, and then you're like, it's not happening, it's not happening. And they want you to know that it's there for you, but you have to visualize it happening and you have to believe with unwavering faith. Like believe in the magic, it's going to happen. And you will, because you've done it before, but you're getting, you know you've done it before. Okay. Yes. So they're saying keep doing it and keep focused and just know that it's going to happen and stay in that state of love consciousness because there's two ways to go. You either have fear or love. And when you stay in that love vibration, it brings more love your way. Okay. And it's almost like I was hearing the song, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Like, you're like, why? I don't want to be heartbroken again. I want the love. Stay in that love. And they say with the fear, it's edging God out. It's ego, edging God out, fear, worry, doubt, and that's low vibe. This is high vibe. You got to stay in that high vibe. And when you have that negative thought, just like Pat Longo taught us all, cancel, and replace it with a positive thought. And just keeping on and stay in that high vibe. And this is all stuff but they just wanted to remind you of that. Does that make sense? And then I'm guided to pull two more. And this is ask your angels for help. Remember to ask them for help, which you do, but some days you forget. Put yourself in that bubble of light. And this is about, bringing more romance and love to you. So getting back to that, don't go breaking your heart. You want to keep that love flowing.
Okay.
Okay. And
Thank you.
it's there.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really nice. Wonderful reading, Dawn, really.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more
Fabulous.
person in the Zoom room has asked. Somebody I know, so I'm going to let either of you two ladies. Sharon, honey, could you turn your microphone on? Perfect. So would you like a message from Mari or Dawn?
Know if either one feels more pulled. Both of them are wonderful.
Hey, ladies, who wants to work?
She's like,
Do you
don't make
have,
me pick.
yeah, no, do you have a particular question or are you
I
looking?
don't. So no. So do you want me to? Then cards would be fine. I haven't had cards read.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I don't want to put Dawn on the spot. I'm happy to do it, but if Dawn,
Okay.
you feel drawn, then you're on a roll. You're doing a great job. So
Okay. All right, Sharon. Okay. Oh God, as we open the door to communication in the unity of the Holy Spirit and the great I am presence, we give thanks for we know the word spoken, healing received is filled with your love, truth, wisdom, understanding of the highest. Amen. Okay, Sharon, tell me when do we lose? Okay. We lost somebody.
Terry, I think.
Also,
Okay.
yeah,
Tell
sometimes
me when to stop.
people
Stop.
go off.
Okay. Right when I tapped in, I was seeing loose leaf paper, which is a vision of writing. So I don't know if you've ever wanted to write a book or journaling. They're saying that it's a good way to communicate with spirit by channel. Have you ever done automatic writing or journaling
A
before?
tiny little bit in the class a long time ago, Winterbrook.
Yeah, so I would go into that deeper
Mhm.
because they're showing me the loose leaf paper. Another sign could be about taking another class or something it could be, could be like a school work because there's always dual meanings to different symbols.
Mhm.
And it could be you're going back to school or you're getting another certification or there's something and it could be spiritual education or something going back to school, learning. Um, but definitely it's important for you. And I really feel strongly it's important for you to write. So remember when we were talking about the signs and the messages and the loved ones around? Have you felt that before?
Um, have I felt what?
Your loved ones around you, you
Oh,
felt.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. So the next time that you feel your loved one, just say a little prayer, whatever you pray to God and the angels. Put yourself in that bubble of light, which is something I'm sure you know.
Mhm.
Winter Brook, I'm sure told you. Okay, and then when you feel their presence, take a moment, whether it's on your phone or on an actual loose leaf paper or notebook, and write, Dear Sharon, and just start writing and see what comes to you. And you're going to feel like you're making it up. Even pen to paper, scribble, 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 and just keep writing. And you're going to get a message directly from spirit. You're going to put it away. You feel like and you're going to read it a little bit later, and you're like, I wrote that? And it's going to blow your mind. So to really, I feel like that's more of the message. It could be, and if you see a class or something like that you're drawn to, or something, I would go ahead and take a class. It could be if you always like, for example, I always wanted to be a life coach. It's something I'm an intuitive development coach, but I always wanted to take a life coaching certification. And I've seen people offering it, and it just wasn't right. And all of a sudden, I was drawn to it, and I'm like, I got to do it now. And I'm in the program now. So it's like all of a sudden you'll be drawn to something that you've always wanted to do, like something like that, and just do it. Okay. Now, the card that was all just coming to me, I just wanted to share.
Okay. Thank you.
The card that I pulled for you, is it's time to make a decision. Is there something that you've been pining over or weighing your options on?
Nothing new.
Nothing new. Well,
Nothing.
sometimes we have some options
Mhm.
and like should I stay or should I go? Or, and when we don't realize that when we're working on our options that oh, like I was always saying, should I buy a house? For 20 years, I've been looking for a house. So I
Mhm.
actually was really deciding to stay, but I never made my house my home. So just realize that when you're making your decisions, okay, and you didn't make it yet, you're actually choosing where you are. So just
Mhm.
realize that sometimes but you're choosing where you are, but you're not being fully present there. So what happened to me is that for 20 years I stayed in my house, but I never made it my own until I got pregnant and started nesting. And I'm like, oh, I finally made my house because I decided to stay. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So does that make sense to you?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So
Thank you.
yeah, so that's the message. And then trying to pull two more, and it says here it is. It's about doing what you want to do. Don't give in to what other people. Don't look back. And this also talks, have you ever done any past life work? Past life regression?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Oh, if that's something you're drawn to, it's saying past life healing can come up. Um, so, or it also could be sometimes we
That's
have regrets from the
interesting.
past. What was that?
No, it is interesting about the past life because I know somebody that does it. And so,
Oh,
um,
so they're
so
popping in your head. So
yeah,
maybe it's something that you need to do or it's going to come, and it's about following your heart and don't let anyone stop you or judge you. And they want me to share something about myself. I actually had a child 52 years old, and you could imagine the judgment I got from people, and now I'm still going at 55. I'm trying for my second baby. So
wow.
and there's a lot of people that could judge me, but you know what? I'm doing what's right for me, and I'm going to keep trying to have my baby. I was actually just pregnant and I lost the pregnancy.
So
So,
sorry.
yeah, so, but I'm going to keep trying. So, but look
That's
what
great.
Spirit
Thank
makes
you.
me share. I can't
Thank
believe that
you.
this is all live.
Yeah, well, like
It
attracts
makes me
like,
think,
sweetheart, because
what?
we were talking about this, like attracts like. I've been approved to adopt again. So at least by all the US agencies, Homeland
Oh my
Security,
God, I got the
New York
chills.
State, all that. So my papers are in Portugal and we'll see. But I'm going for a teenager. So
Right. But the whole point is that,
you
in
have
life,
Crystal, who's two.
I have
And
crystals too.
yeah,
Yeah.
mine are grown already. So I'll start
But
a
like
little more.
attracts like. And, a lot of times, like Louise Hay created Hay House when she was in her 50s. It's never
Mhm.
too late to make a life change. And what did we talk about? The first card for you, Sharon, was time to decide. If there's something in your heart you want to do it. And this message is for, I'm sure, everybody, because a lot of
Yeah.
times, oh, it's too late. I'm either too young to start it or too old to do it, or we have these judgments. And it's about
Mhm.
doing what we need to do to follow our heart. So keep going, follow your heart, and time is now.
Well, thank you, Dawn Marie. Those were great messages. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless.
Thank you.
So, and
Beautiful. Wow. I
Yeah.
feel like you're giving a lot of messages for the collective, Dawn. I really do. I just feel like
Oh
so
my God.
much of it is resonating for me personally, for
Thank you.
so many people that are watching. I'm getting comments on my Facebook that everyone's saying, "Wow, that connects to me." So
Oh,
thank you
good.
so much. That's really awesome that you're giving all these messages to help so many people because I mean, ultimately, I believe this is what our work is for. Our work is
Yeah.
to help elevate all the souls that are here and help them be the highest version of themselves. So thank you for your
Oh my God.
bringing your work to us.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite. I actually go live on my Instagram every day. I do a go live challenge. I'm doing 222. I'm up to day 139, and I go live and I just do a collective read. And sometimes it's one card, 5 minutes. Sometimes I'm on there for an hour. And it's just a collective, not
Wow.
personal message, just collective. So it is kind of like my specialty. But when I tune into one person, a lot of times it could connect for all of us. Thank
Absolutely.
you for that
Because
compliment.
yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
spirit wants the, words to get out there. So
Yeah.
that's something else. If you feel like a tingling sensation or you perk up to listen to certain words, that could be spirit trying to get your attention. Listen, this pertains partly to you.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And it's like we were talking about earlier that so many people want to brush things off because I think a lot of it is fear-based because they're like, oh no, this can't be real, it's too weird and all these things. But, anyone that's listening to us or watching us, you can see we're all pretty normal people, we got nothing's flying around our heads or nothing weird's going on here. So allow yourself to be open to that other level of yourself, other level of your spirit. And if you're hearing these messages, then it means that they are meant for you. So just take that in for a moment.
Mm,
absolutely.
beautiful, Mari.
And Mari,
Thank you.
I should ask you is there anybody watching on your end? Because I've just been reading off everybody in the Zoom room that asked. Um,
Yes, I was looking here and I'm not sure if she's still on. Brenda Gillum, who I know. Brenda Gillum is watching on here, and she was posting some stuff on our live here. So I don't know if you can tune in to her name. She's a lovely lady. I've known her for a long time, and maybe you have a message for her, Dawn. I know she would love
Sure.
one.
Brenda Gillum.
Brenda Gillum, yeah.
Hey, oh
Hope I'm
God,
saying her name right. Yeah.
invitation in the unity of the Holy Spirit and the great I am presence of the universe. We give thanks for we know. Okay, and I'll pick a card for her because I don't think she could tell me when to stop, right? Or can she?
Yes, I'm texting and I'm going on my page if she says anything, but I think just yeah, use your intuition.
Okay. It's funny because sometimes Spirit uses my experiences to share. And I was seeing the Rockettes and I was just in Manhattan seeing it. So I feel like it's time to go to the Broadway show, to get out there, to go do some fun things, entertainment with the family. Like a lot of times we're thinking about getting stuff for people for the holidays, instead, plan an event. And that is spending time doing something different that that you might not do too often. And the card that I picked is um, hold on. Ah, you're not going through, and it's about having more fun. It's saying you're not going through the challenges alone. Call upon your friends and family and raise your vibration, because sometimes when we're in a bad mood and we're sad, we stay home alone and we're not doing what we need to do and go get out, and it just makes it worse. It's like turning that spiral down, going deeper down, and we just get sad, stay under covers. But you have all these people that love you, family, friends, that would love to go to a Broadway play, and that lifts your vibration. They even say if you're sad, just pretend to laugh, and you all of a sudden you start cracking up. And it's funny because sometimes things get frustrating with the toddler, and I've been doing like I'm like ready to lose it, and I'm like, and she's upset, and then I'm like, I start laughing, and then she starts laughing, and then we start hysterically laughing. And apparently, it's good
Mm.
for their age bracket for vocals and for speaking. So it's like there's so much that laughter can do, and shifting, our energy immediately, and because we choose to be happy or to be sad. So what do you want to be? We all want to be happy. So sometimes it's hard to get out of it. And if you can't get out of yourself, phone a friend, grab a lifetime, call a therapist, get an angel card reading, or a mediumship reading, because you're not alone. You got people around you that are here to help physically, and your guides, angels, ascended masters, God, angels, the God of your understanding that's here for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And like I said, I know Brenda, and I think that reading is spot on for her. So Thank you so
Um,
much for that, really. And I just sort of want to piggyback on that for a minute, and that, I think many times is people forget, or in some instances don't allow themselves to have fun, or don't allow themselves to be happy. Like sometimes even myself, it's like you get so busy with the work and this and that and the house and thing, and that you sort of forget, like, wait a second, part of our purpose of being here is happiness, is to seek out happiness. And whether it's the Broadway show or walk in the woods or playing with your dog, it's like, don't forget to allow some time for that. Like, we schedule the meeting, we schedule the gym, we schedule the food shopping, we schedule all these things, but do we schedule time for happiness? Like, whether it's just with ourselves, with loved ones, with other people, with nature. That's really important. I think around this time of year when everybody is crazy busy, I don't know about you, but I've gotten about 10,000 emails about Black Friday shopping and Cyber Monday shopping and go buy this and go do this. And it's like, oh yeah, I got to make my list and all
Yeah.
these crazy things. But we forget. It's so easy to forget to just have that joy. Watch the silly Christmas movie, go
Yeah.
outside, go caroling, get some hot cocoa, whatever it is, just do the thing that brings joy back to you, because that is a huge part of who we are. And it's so important for people to not forget about that. So thank you for bringing that up, Dawn.
Yes, yes. And you know what?
the
I have to remind myself during that time of the year when after I had Crystal, I actually decided to do it. Winter, you might have seen it. I do 25 days of Christmas, and I did it since she was a baby. I did it last when she was 5 months old, and then a year later, and I'm starting it today. I'm doing something Christmas every day for the next 25 days with Crystal. So,
oh,
and there were times when it was at the end of the night, and then Spirit gave me, they're like, tell your funny Christmas memory to her. Tell her a story. Read a Christmas book. Simple things like that, but a little bit of Christmas. So today I told her, I go, guess what, Crystal? And she's a toddler. I'm like, we're going to do something Christmas every single day. And she's like, yay. She was all excited. It's like, and she keeps saying Santa and she's getting to that fun age, and we need to remember the children and remember the youth and the blessings of it all, the simple things in life. And that's what having a child later in life really is a blessing, because it keeps you young. I truly believe it.
oh, absolutely. I concur with you on that. And you sleep better at night too, because you're exhausted. But I have my one of my tenants has two little ones, 5 and 12. So they're my surrogate grandchildren because their grandmas live in Alabama and Florida. And I have a lot of fun, between the
Me.
5-year-old little one who's always got her hair made up, the 12-year-old boy, we're always doing fart jokes and all that kind of good stuff. That's what you do when you have a 12-year-old. So yeah, I look forward to when I'm grandma, but I'm also actually looking forward to, I'm here, so why not? I'd love to add another child, and this time I'm shooting for a male because I had two girls. But I also want to ring in on the laughter bit. Dakota and I do that. We at least once a week we burst into belly blowing laughter, and it just kind of releases a lot of agita we may have had, during the week dealing with just work and things like that, because she works with me, and I think it's good, and I try to be a clown, and I try to play when I've got Emmy here, you wait till you get to that, what is that piggy game? She loves it. You got to hit the thing and the fat piggies eat the little marbles.
Oh, I don't know that
Hello
one.
Oh,
Hippo.
it's
That's
it
not a
used to
piggy,
be
it's a
Hungry
hippo.
Hungry Hippo. Now maybe it's,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I'm older than all you guys, but yeah, back in the day it was Hungry Hippo. It must be Hungry Piggy now.
Yeah, no, it's a hippo, but I
Is
was
it?
thinking it
Oh,
was a little
oh.
piggy. But
Peppa Pig.
anyway, you have to you have a built-in joy guide with your little one. Although I'm sure there's times, at that age, they are very expressive with their discontent because they can be. And so you can just be jealous that, she's got the freedom to blow a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store. And Yes. So, but
So
I
I'm
heard she's
resonating with it.
I've met her and she's adorable.
Oh.
But she's that age. So I think that's great that they can do that. I wish I could do that sometimes.
It's so true. Very true. And I think these are all useful tips. And I know we started it out, excuse me, the show about grief and about the holidays and how it can be so heavy. And taking some of these tips and some of these ideas that we brought today can sort of help release some of that or make some of that grief a little bit easier because it can be a tough time of year, the holidays, certainly when we've lost loved ones or pets or, just having a difficult time. So, I thank you, ladies, for bringing all that up. But I'm looking at the time. I realize it's almost 4 o'clock here.
I
Where did the time
Time
go?
flies when you're having fun. And you know what's funny? That's what I was going to say. Like, this brings me so much happiness doing this work, having these conversations. Because when you follow your passion and what's in your heart and you live your purpose, that brings you pure joy and happiness, and you help other people. It's like that's a win-win. That's why we all need to find that happiness that makes us happy. I mean, look at this conversation. Look how much fun we're having, ladies.
Absolutely. And with that note, I just want to throw out there, and then I'm sure Mari, you have something coming up with Meredith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll ask Dawn if what she's got coming up. But I did put on my schedule psychic mediumship online development classes for the 4 Wednesdays in January. I've been a little bit holding back since I don't know if I'm going to get the call to go to Portugal for 5 weeks. But I know I won't be going before the end of January. So I am going to teach Wednesday nights with Winter, psychic and mediumship development, perfect for beginners to intermediates. There's an early bird special and it's $175 for the 4 classes. So just email me and I'm leaving to go away again with my oldest because my mother came through from Spirit and told me to go on vacation with her. And then my oldest turned around and said a letter of intent to move to California, which I'm not happy about, but we're spending time like the one's advice for the holidays. So that's what we're doing. We're going on a vacation. So I'm going to get the class all wrapped up about the beginning of January before the first session, and I'll send out the Zoom if you guys are interested. So Mari, I know you have something coming up with Kimberly Meredith. I said that
I
before,
do, I
my
do, and
apologies.
that sounds awesome. Send me the info, Winter. I'd love to put it on my page and publicize that, your class. So
Thank
that
you.
sounds fantastic. I have a couple of events that are coming up, and we all put our websites in the chat. It's mediummari.com in case anybody wants to find out about all my events. But coming up December 13th, I'm going to be part of the Mother Mary Matrix. That's a mouthful holiday party. And it is with Kimberly Meredith, who's a very amazing medical intuitive, celebrity medium. She's fantastic. And just so everybody knows, this is totally donation based. And it's like a 2 or 3 hour event, very long event. Pop in whenever you want. They're going to have readings, prizes, games. It's really just a celebration of spirit, of the holidays. And there's me, and there's, like 5 other guests that are going to be doing readings and presentations and giveaways. So that is the Mother Mary Matrix Holiday Party, December 13th. 5 p.m. Eastern. And so check out my website if you are interested in attending that. And then in January, I'm doing a new event called New Year's Healings and Readings. And we will be offering healings to everybody that is there, as well as readings from loved ones and pets. And that is January 17th at 5 o'clock Eastern. And all my events are listed on my website, mediummari.com. And I would love to see you at any of them. And feel free to contact me if you have questions or whatever. Just reach out. And thank you again, Dawn, for being here. It's fabulous to have you. And please let us know what you have coming up.
Sure. Well, first of all, we have the holiday party coming up. A gathering of clients, light workers. If you're looking for something to do for the holidays, it's a 4 hour dinner, dancing, connecting with other light workers. And we used to call it Meeting of the Minds with mediums at the marina. That's how it started. And when I was by where I kept my boat, and then it just grew. And this is our 10th anniversary. And it's on my website. It's $88 for the 4 hours, and you get food and appetizers and sodas and all that. So you can come on, all are welcome. We're always open to meeting new people and seeing, new things. And then I go live all the time on my page at Angel Eyes Door Marie. So you could look for me there, Instagram and Facebook. And I'm trying to get my TikTok going. I did a little dances, trying to have some fun, but I'm not there yet. And then I do once a month a free class. We are the leaders of the light, which I said we got to talk about maybe getting you guys on, maybe together, talking about your podcast and just what you've done. We could do something like that. But I bring on colleagues. Sometimes I do it alone, and it's a free class I do once a month just to connect it. And it's on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. And it's no particular Sunday. It's just once a month. It's just a way I started giving back during COVID, and I kept it going right up until I popped her out, until I had my baby. And then my course that I'm doing, I do a full-blown mentorship program. It's like a 2-month program. I'm having a Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday. You could still get the code for it's you get part of a Facebook group, Messenger. You have access to me 24/7. I respond within 24 to 48 hours. And then there is 7 classes within the 2-month time, and it's 2 hours long. It's all on Zoom. Normally, it's at the Long Island Healing Arts and Learning Center. So shout out to the Long Island Healing Arts. But normally it's there because that's where I do a lot of my classes, but I'm doing Zoom only. So it's 7:30 to 9:30. And this course the whole program is $999, but it's on sale right now for $888. And I'll probably because now the Black Friday is over, like Cyber Monday. I know so if you don't have time to sign up, it doesn't start till January. It's on Monday nights. And then you could sign up. I'll probably do another holiday sale, and I do take payment plans and work with people. So on it. Yeah, I also do student retirement and military discounts that they'll get 25% off the original price, the $999. I try to give back as much as I can to the world, We all got it, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
Awesome. Well,
all right.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. That was fantastic. And that you're doing a lot of things. It sounds like everybody's busy, but hopefully everyone takes some time to celebrate the holidays, whatever you celebrate with your family and friends. Like we said, it's super important. And I know we're a little past our time, so I just wanted to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming on our show, Dawn, and thank you,
yay.
Thank you,
Thank you for
Winter.
having
Dawn.
me. This was so much fun. I'm so blessed. I feel so honored to be part of this today. So thank you.
Jeez.
Thank you
Well,
so
thanks
much.
for
And
coming on. We look forward to joining you on your monthly class, and we'll
Yes.
talk about that. Give a kiss to the baby. She's adorable. And
I'm
everyone
gonna go pick her
have
up.
a blessed holiday.
You too.
Jeff,
God bless.
Holidays
God
you
bless everyone.
absolutely.
Happy
And
celebrate.
we'll
holidays.
see you in January. We don't know when yet, but we're going to get together, Winter and I, for our next show, and we will see you sometime in January. So happy holidays. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. And this will be out on the replay, within a couple days.
God bless.
Thank you.